welcome to Game 2 of the June 2020 Warhammer Underworlds Webcam tournament hosted over Zoom. Today's game is Zarbag's Gitz against Hrothgorn's Mantrappers. Now this is very recently after the latest Forsaken and Restricted list, so about 2 days. So yeah, it's a really tight game and a very interesting outcome. It shows how the changes of the latest far list really have impacted the game. But without further ado, I'll let you get to the game and past me from the live broadcast of the tournament. So enjoy the game. The deploying boards. So it looks like Gitz one's boards. We're getting into it. Yeah, so it's going to be a really tough game, which is good for us. The Zarbags are going to have the... But they're in a really good spot at the moment, just because they always gain glory quickly. Aggro Hrothgorn has kind of not really been too hurt. But we'll see. Let's go back to this one. All right. There we go. So it's going to be interesting. Because obviously the key thing to remember with the Gitz, they want to hit free glory as soon as possible because then they'll inspire. Because their inspire mechanic is they hit the free glory unless you're the squigs, who never inspire. So the squigs inspire when Driz gets taken out of action. Interesting choice for that lethal. Not bad. A lethal up there. The not Thundrix. Hrothgorn have taken some hits like Nightmare in the Shadows, Trophy Belt, obviously Toughened Hide, and Play Free Gambit, or power cards. Going to be really interesting. And obviously Combination Strike and Opening Gambit. And Frenzy Search. And Survival Instincts. And I think that's pretty much a lot of cards, basically. He's lost a lot. Gitz didn't really care about Survival Instincts because Snurk can't use Survival Instincts and they'll just die anyway. My Restless Prize is something they'll have to invest in. So for deployment, Chris gets nothing. So Matt will obviously let Chris go first. So we're just going to wait for the Gitz to... What time did this round start? I should probably put a timer. Like, the great thing about not playing in a tournament is I don't really have to care about the time. I mean, I do normally, but there's no really strict timings for me. More down to the players. So my tip is, I already put this in an article, I believe. One of my many articles. World clock. No. Timer? So I have a timer. I'll see if you guys can see it. So I use my mobile phone. So I just set that. Well, if this was a best of 3, I'd set it to 1.5 hours. And then I just have that at the side always. It's always important to keep the time. Because some tournaments will tell you, some TOs always have an update running with the time. But it's really important you keep track of the time yourself. Because instead of just... It just lets you speed things up. It's really... Especially if your Zarbag's Gitz. So I believe this round started at 11. That's what this time is. Fine. Hrothgorn's going up early. So he has 2 Fury, 2 damage basic with his gun. And he is going first. See if this looks better. Oh, okay. So Matt is using dice to represent the Gitz, which is fine. So yeah, the important thing I needed to see was where this lethal hex was. So if it was there, obviously you can't place it because of that starting hex. Whatever Git goes there is going to die. So I would probably put one of the shooty Gits. There's no point deploying there. Bushwhacker's going there. So I expect Bushwhacker is probably going to charge up and try and flip that. So once again, I'd probably put Snurk there. I mean, he probably has Shadow Step. Like, if you're a Gitz player, you need Shadow Step. But I'd definitely put the Squigs there. Hello, Rise Tom. Back to this one. So I do have my Gitz somewhere. Where are their fire cards? I know the Gitz. It's fine. All right. Fafnir. So the main things he wants to kill is actually... So as Zarbag's Gitz, he needs to kill the Trapper. The Trapper is actually the main priority because the flip... So the key thing about playing against Hrothgorn's Mantrappers, they have the run a lot of cards that flip objectives, but the only way they can flip objectives is... So you have Hrothgorn's card, which is choose a feature token within 1 hex of Hrothgorn, remove it, and then you have the more traps where you choose a feature token within 1 hex of Bushwhacker and flip it. So if you kill Bushwhacker, all the other cards require the feature tokens to not be held because you've got Unexpected Peril, which is flip an empty feature token in your territory. So if it's an objective token and someone's on it, you can't flip it. Leave nothing to chance. You need to be standing on an objective to remove it. So if all the objectives are held, you can't burn it. So then they basically rely you not being on the objectives, which they can't do. So as long as you get on the objectives and kill Bushwhacker, the only way they can actually remove objectives is with Hrothgorn, and then that requires Hrothgorn charging in. So that's the rationale, because when I was playing, what do you call them? I know them. The Grimwatch. How I always beat the Hrothgorn's Mantrappers was just by getting on all the objectives and killing Bushwhacker early, because then they were relying on 1 card to try and flip to get rid of my objectives, which they couldn't do. So it's something overlooked by a lot of players, but obviously you need that foresight to remember that, because that's how you really crush that Hrothgorn build. So for deployment, Chris has rolled a crit and a single support. So Matt has 1 priority with 2 crits and numerous singles. But he's letting Zarbag's Gitz go first, which is the right thing to do. So it's interesting to see if he scurries or inspires. Is he going to scurry? So he's going to scurry to get onto objective 2s and scurry Zarbag there. Okay, and he's deployed the squigs up top here. And he just scored temporary victory. Oh, wow. Damn. Forgot Gitz could do that. There we go. Gitz in the lead. 1 glory away from inspiring now. That's amazing. Now, technically, Chris can't inspire Snurk, but we'll see what he does. Yeah, it's just because Chris doesn't own that board pack because it basically sold out. And they're just casual, so it's like the thing's getting in games. They have everything else. It's just he doesn't have that board. All right, so we'll see. No power cards for Chris. He's in a really good position at the moment, but obviously it's always too early to predict the game just from the first activation. So, let's see. Because obviously he wants to get, what do you call it? Supremacy. But that's if he has supremacy in hand. So we'll see. He's playing Carnival Senses. I believe that gets ensnare. Yeah, the first attack action made by a friendly hunter has ensnare. So Fafnir is probably going to charge in, or Hrothgorn. The issue is if Hrothgorn charges in now, the whole warband will inspire, but Hrothgorn will be out in the open. Yeah, exactly. Because even if Hrothgorn removes objectives, it'll make it easier for Zarbag to score uncontested, infestation, and even like coveted spoils. So that's why Gitz is so good. Nice. Center of attention on Fafnir to pull Hrothgorn out of the way, which makes sense. I probably wouldn't have, because Hunter Senses only applies to range 1 or 2 attack actions, even if he was going to shoot. It does push him back, so it's interesting. So no more power cards for Matt. So obviously, this is just still after the first activation for Chris. And if you just tuned in, he scored temporary victory. So Fafnir is charging in. So he's charging the squig here, the one with the bone. So Free Fury with Ensnare. He's probably going to score Brought to Bay. So well, let's see what he rolls. In his Fury or crit. He rolls nothing. Oh dear. So that's really bad because I assume he would have had Brought to Bay, which is a hunter kills an enemy fighter in enemy activation. So Chris did remember. He is an amazing player. He remembered you can't scurry and then inspire snark. There. Yeah, so really good. Redeem players. So we'll see what he does. Because obviously you just want to inspire Snurk to keep him alive. But this is really bad now for Matt because you use Fafnir as your poker. So if I were Chris, I would... He's playing Distraction. I would charge the squig there. So he's pushing Snurk back. But yeah, if I were Matt, I would charge this squig to the left of Fafnir. And the reason is because generally you want to sit still. But if he charges in, the supports will cancel out with Hrothgorn. So if you charge there, well, the supports will still cancel out, actually. It doesn't... Yeah. I'd probably just charge in with this squig there and then attack. Because then you get two supports and then can drive back. You just want to make it as difficult as possible for Hrothgorn to inspire. Obviously, Lost Blazing Soul as well, because that's restricted. It depends what's in the decks, because once again, I don't know the decks. Because more difficult. I mean, I'd love to know the decks, but I did not prepare properly, which is my fault. And obviously, deck submission was extended a bit because of the new Forbidden and Restricted list. So it's now going into Matt's second activation. We're just figuring out what he wants to do. So he's using Drizgit's action to move himself. Where's he? Oh. So that's not good, because Hrothgorn will just charge in. So he's moved all those guys there. I would have moved the squig there, because then there would have been no way for... it would have cancelled out the supports. But he must have a game plan. He's probably going for Mad Scurry, which he should be able to do. But once again, he's moved him, Drizgit, in range of Hrothgorn. So Hrothgorn will now be 2 Furies with the support against 1 block. So there must be more than meets the eyes. The issue is Gitz are really annoying to play because the players are usually doing so many crazy things. It's really hard to predict. Silly Gitz. But yeah, the priority now is killing Fafnir, because then only Hrothgorn can do the killing. But Hrothgorn is actually in a really good spot. Because you could always have just used the squig to charge into here and charge Bushwhacker because he's trapped, and then that could have killed Bushwhacker. But we'll see. He has a lot of options, and the difficult thing is picking the right one to do. So they've got no power cards. Just waiting to see what Matt does now for his second activation. Yeah, but I know, just if you're playing Gitz, just forget about the squigs inspiring. It just... So Hrothgorn's going to charge in, probably to... what do you call it? Yep, so Drizgit is 2 smash now support against Drizgit, sorry. So we'll see what Matt rolls. So he rolls a single success, block or a crit. Nope. So the squigs are inspired, but now Hrothgorn and the Warband are inspired, which is the worst trade-off. And for me, that's... but the thing is, Drizgit was in no man's land, so that won't score Brought to Bay, which is probably what Matt was fishing for. But I personally would say that's a bad trade because Hrothgorn Inspired is a massive threat. Yeah, so I mean, getting the cleaver is nice, but it's not necessary. So he's in a very safe position now because he's guaranteed Mad Scurry if he was setting that up because he has 5 fighters with move counters, and there's now no real way Matt can kill any more of his fighters. So we just got to see how that rolls. So he's spending his glory. Well, Matt is. He's putting great strength on Lugget and Thwack. So obviously Lugget and Thwack are going to try and charge in and kill that Git there. But now Chris really... But the thing is, even then, Chris is a free fighter who can move up to score Mad Scurry. So no more power cards. So the thing... So Chris still has 4 power cards left to play. So for his third activation... So he's going to attack the cat. Now the cat's 2 dodge. Free smash. So he needs a dodge or a crit on 2 dice. So Fafnir has 1 wound left. The squigs are chomping away. So yeah, it's interesting. So it really depends if Lugget and Thwack actually charge in and kill. I thought that's close enough. That's the issue. Now Matt has kind of been focused on that fight. He's spent 2 activations going for the squigs, which to be fair has inspired the Warband, which I'd say is a better trade. Because the thing is, when you're playing Underworld, you need to think about the trades. What's the most efficient thing for you? So yeah, Lugget and Thwack are charging into the Gitz on the objective. Just temporary victory. Temporary victory by Chris. But he has 5 fighters with move tokens. But the important thing is, even if he can't kill the Gitz, he's 2 damage. But he can drive them off the objective. So we'll see where it rolls. So he rolls a single Fury. Nope. Says that Git is dead. That will just be a single glory. So yeah, so far Matt is just getting glory from kills. So if Chris uses his Git to charge on there, then he's going for Mad Scurry. I mean, he probably would. I would charge onto that objective anyway, because the thing is, then your opponent goes, damn, has he got, what do you call it? Is he going for Supremacy or Mad Scurry, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. Charge. Yep. So Dibs is charging onto objective 5. Shooting Lugget and Thwack. 2 Fury. Rolled a crit. Nice. That's what I like. Fails to defend. Yes. So the thing is, basically all the Gits will inspire because he's guaranteed Mad Scurry now. He could be going for Supremacy as well. I mean, obviously Matt has 1 more activation left, so I assume he's going to charge in with, what do you call it, Bushwhacker, but we'll see. So we're still holding on to 4 power cards. So it's 2-2, but you could argue Chris is in the better spot, but we'll see. It really depends on what happens in this end phase. So for Matt's last activation, what is he going to do? He's only got Bushwhacker and that arrow Git there. So obviously, I guess he's going to try and charge. And with Lugget and Thwack would draw a card. I mean, Bushwhacker. Because the thing is, now the Noblars are all movement 4 because they're all inspired. He could just dump a trap or draw a card. With Bushwhacker is charging. So where is Bushwhacker? He's probably going to charge Because the thing is 2 Fury against 1 Dodge. So let's see what he rolls. He fails. Oh, and the thing is, because he's charged, he now can't place trap, because Bushwhacker can only place if he doesn't have a charge token. Oh, Cryptic Companion going on to stick it from Chris. And he passed from Matt. So he gets 1 automatically from Cryptic Companion. So he's inspired as Warband. And he scores Supremacy. And Mad Scurry. Oh. So he scored 5 glory. 6 glory, sorry. And Matt doesn't score anything. That's an amazing end phase for Chris. So that's the thing with Gitz. You really have to not get fixated on the squigs. And yeah, first turn Cryptic Companion. It's like, this is why you have to watch out against Gitz, and why I hate playing against Gitz. So Chris is holding on to all his cards, so he must have 2 Gambits that he's still saving. But he's in a very good position, because what I would do now, if he's got Obliterated, obviously he can just kill Bushwhacker and score that. Or he can kill Fafnir and get rid of that. There's so many threats at the moment. This is the thing. There's too much stuff for his opponent to deal with, because obviously Hrothgorn could just stand back and shoot. So he's flushed out, discarding Flushed Out and Beyond Mortal and drawing up. But yeah, so far Gitz are in the lead. So if Hrothgorn has Tome of Offerings, he could crawl this back, but we'll see. Oh, let's update this. That was round 1. So we're going into round 2. There we go. All right. This is exactly. Damn Reading players. Round 2. It can still be all for played for. So we got a single and 2 falls. Yes, he did not have enough pushes, but that's the consequence of having Nightmare in the Shadows restricted. And yeah, Chris has only been playing Gitz for about a week, but the Reading players are annoyingly good. We'll see. We'll see. It's still early game, because even though it's 8-2, sorry, the Gitz can still bleed a lot of glory. But the key thing is now everyone has 2 defense, well, minimum 2 defense. So it's going to be really tough for the Mantrappers to just even kill. So I believe he lost priority. So Matt is going to go first because he won priority. That makes more sense. So obviously Hrothgorn is going for the trap and he's shooting into... Yep. 3 Fury with the support doing 2 damage. So only missing on blocks and full supports. Rolled a crit. Can you roll a crit, Chris? Can you roll a crit? Nope. Dead. But probably scores brought to bay. So that's just 1 so far. Players are just discussing that squigs explode when they die, which is true. They do explode. But yeah, once again, the paper board is just because Chris does own all the boards except the Shattered board pack. And obviously it's a webcam tournament, so you just want to get people playing at the moment. So he didn't score any objectives off of that, and he's putting Great Fortitude on a Hrothgorn. Lug and Thwack. Okay, interesting. So they've got 3 wounds left. No power cards from Chris. So it really depends. If he's going to swing, he's going for Obliterated. I hope he's got Obliterated. He's doing the snack. He's doing the spinny spin. So it's rolling 4 dice, and let's see where he rolls. So that's basically... Ooh. So he's killed Bushwhack already. And he's behind Lugget and Thwack. So he gets 9 just from the kill alone. Does he score anything? And he scores Obliterated as well. Oh, 3 glory for that. And he's already taken away the trap. And now he can just pile into Lugget and Thwack. So now he's like, now Matt is really in a tough spot. You can charge in with Lugget and Thwack. But then Fafnir is potentially at risk to be killed. So, like, I still wouldn't say it's GG yet. This is still only the first activation for round 2, but this is how quickly Gitz can score. He has accidentally revealed he has coveted spoils, but that's why you should never shuffle your cards face up. Because someone who's sneaky like me can quickly see that. So it looks like Chris does have coveted spoils. He could have Trophy Belt and Offerings for the Ogre, but that's 2 restricted cards. So that's a lot to use. But I haven't seen any restricted cards used by Hrothgorn yet. We so far have 1 restricted for Chris because he's got Cryptic Companion. So he's playing Whip into a Frenzy. So you choose a friendly fighter. They take a wound token, but then do +1 damage. So he's doing 3 damage. He's probably going to try and attack Snurk because Snurk is trapped. And he is doing 3 damage now. But the thing is, Snurk has scored Obliterated, so Snurk has done his job. Snurk is just on, like, I got you 3 glory. So he's used Sneaky Step to push Snurk there. I would have put Snurk there. No, I would have put Snurk there and just been super annoying. Because you want Lugget and the Puck to charge. You could argue that's a misplay, but that's just, I would say it's more not making the most efficient choice. So the key thing is, so they're only 2 dice because they've taken 2 damage. Let's see what he needs. Well, 2 dice on Fury. He rolls nothing. Oof. So now, let's see what Chris is going to try and score. I would just now attack into Fafnir, because once you kill Fafnir, Hrothgorn is the only one who can do damage. So let's see what Chris does. So it's going into his second activation. This is only round 2, and he's already on 11, because he's an annoying Gitz player. Yep, Squig's attacking into Fafnir, 3 smash against 2 dodge. 2 hits, so he needs 2 dodge or a crit. And the cat has been eaten by a squig. It's 12 glory for Chris. There we go. The Gitz playing for real. Yeah, he already scored Chris already scored temporary victory in round 1 in the first activation because of his amazing scurry. And he's got Cryptic Companion on the Git just there. So if he doesn't kill him, he's going to get another glory there. So now Matt is in a really bad spot because Hrothgorn is the only one who can kill. Lugget and Thwack basically need to charge in and kill this Git here, but it's 2 Fury against 2 dodge. Chris technically has board control, you could argue. But he's going to fire the trap from Hrothgorn into the squig. 3 Fury. He's got 1 success. And he rolled a crit. Oh. I have something. I'm a very professional streamer, man. But if there's one thing I've learned about Underworlds, it's merchandising. Oh, focus. There you go. Anyway, that's me being professional. Oh, he put Feynway on the netter and charged into objective 1. He's 1 smash, 3 smash, doing 1 damage. So he needs double crit. So he's definitely going for coveted spoils. So it's 1 damage, but now because it's the Trapper, he's -2 dice in the next activation because he's had a net thrown on him. It could be Scrum. I wouldn't take... Well, actually, he's too spread out for Scrum. So it's Temporary Victory, coveted... Temporary Victory, what do you call it? Cryptic Companion, and probably, I would say, Restless Prize, because Restless Prize is the most important card. So he can probably, as long as he gets someone near there, he can Restless Prize on. And he still has some pushes to play around with as well. Right. So it's Matt's final activation. So Lugget are charging, obviously, someone. Oh, yeah, charging the Netter. So it's 2 dodge. Has he got any cards to play? So this is actually the crucial play, because if he crit and a half, so you need a crit and a dodge, or 2 crits. What can you roll, Chris? Nope. That's a dead Git. So. Boots, you mean, or what do you call it? Quickening Greaves. So you can't, the issue is, so he's putting Tome of Glories on this Git here, which is an essential play. And he will read a book to get 1 glory. So now he's on 13 to Matt's 4. Git's proving that Brain sometimes does beat Brawn, and he could score Dug In. Yes. Dug In, yes. If Dug In, that's pretty much game. So we'll see what Matt scores. Matt unfortunately scores nothing again. Oh. Dug In, uncontested, and Cryptic Companion. So that is 8 glory to Chris. Let me just add all of that. There we go. Yeah, it is 21-4. Git's doing their thing. There we go. Yeah, I can't see what Matt objectives are, and he hasn't revealed. So this is the issue with me being... So he's discarded Indomitable Defender and Momentarily Distracted. I can't remember what those cards do. I do have a Hrothgorn deck somewhere nearby. I do. This thing. Take out my many decks. I have so many decks. Did I put it in my deck? No. But yeah, basically Gitz have won against Hrothgorn's Mantrappers. It's going into round 3. Let me update that. But damn, Chris has been on fire. First turn Cryptic Companion and Temporary Victory, and now Dug In, uncontested. Whoa, it's just so good. So Matt wins priority again with a crit. Oh, he rode the crit. There we go. I should probably make this an alert. There you go. I'm just not that great. So let's see what he does. I mean, he can't come back from this, but he can get kills. Let me just make sure he's got the Night of Glory. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah. So it's 21-4 to Zarbag's Gitz against Hrothgorn's Mantrappers. And he's going to go second. I would have just gone first. Use Hrothgorn. I just drawn a power card. But yeah, Gitz have shown their power. Obviously, the latest Forbidden and Forsaken and Restricted list is in use. And he's put the Crown of Avarice on the Squig. But that's not too bad, because as long as Matt spends his glory, he can still get enough glory from that kill. He's got 1 unspent and 1 spent. Oh no, I don't know how much glory. He's got 2 spent and 2 unspent. So if you can put 2 upgrades on, then Cryptic Companion, not Cryptic Companion, Crown of Avarice is moot. Just you have to remember how that works. He's playing Inspired Attack. So he's probably going to charge in Logit and Thwuk into Snurk. I'm not sure why. I think it's just too much. He must only have like one upgrade in hand. But Matt is probably going to charge Logit and Thwuk into Snurk. Yep. They're charging into Snurk. So 3 Fury because of Inspired Attack, and he's doing 3 damage because he's got great strength, and Inspired Attack is +1 dice and +1 damage to an Inspired Fighter. So let's see what he rolls. He rolls a crit. Can you roll a crit? Snurk does not roll a crit, but there was a crit rolled. That doesn't smell right. Okay. So that's 1 more glory to Matt. But it's not really efficient because Snurk, once again, Snurk has scored Obliterated, so Snurk did his job. Once Snurk scores his Obliterated, he just lives there to be annoying. And now the other issue is Matt has 3 unspent glory. Unfortunately, unless you got Tome of Offerings, there's nothing much you can do now. Going into Chris's second activation. Squiggle charge Hrothgorn. So it's free smash with cleave. Yeah, Logit charged, yeah. 2 crits. Oh, so he needs 2 crits from Hrothgorn. He's only doing 2 damage. So Hrothgorn takes 2 damage via crits. He's left Hrothgorn where he is. So he's played Confusion to swaff. Oh, must be scoring Shortcut. Ah, yes, he scored Shortcut. Played Confusion to score Shortcut. It's 22 to Chris. Just styling now. No, but it's a really good move. He got some glory. I mean, he got some damage out of the attack, but also got glory, which is more important. Chris doing the insane Reading plays. And he's actually been really good for time. I think they've got about 15 minutes left in the round. Obviously, if you're playing best of 3, they've gone way over for 1 round. Well, it's only been about half an hour. But it's still really good from them. Like, really efficient play from Chris. It's really impressive, because that's, once again, the one place where Zarbag get struggles, time management. But yeah, just waiting for the players to decide what they're going to do. He won't get an assist on defense because no one is adjacent to Hrothgorn. So yeah, Hrothgorn's going to attack the squig. So it's going to be a 1-1 trade unless he scores anything. Rolls a success, so he needs a dodge or a crit. Dodge! So Hrothgorn has been dodged by a mighty squig. So will he drive him back? This is the interesting thing. If he attacked with the chain trap launcher, you could drive him back and then pull him back. It's Ravenous Fury, so he's going to attack again. Interesting. I wouldn't have done that because I would have just sit there and kept attacking. Then he's a crit. And he rolls a double crit to defend. Oh, this squig does not want to die. And it's rolling a lot of crits. I may have to sue him. It's my thing. Really unlucky with the attacks for Matt, but he's playing sidestep and pushing Hrothgorn. Oh, he's pushing Quiv. Interesting. I'm not sure why you would do that. He's just asking a question to his opponent. Well, Matt to Chris. It's unexpected cunning. So he's just, let me just step in. No, it's actually an action phase is the whole phase. The power phase is just a power step. Yep. Yep. Yeah. It's just because the action phase is one whole phase and a power step is just a power step. Because you got the action phase, end phase, and those are the only two phases. Yeah, so you've definitely scored unexpected cutting. Always. Normally I shouldn't have stepped in, but that's just basic things. Because it's really confusing. It's easy to get mixed up with the action phase and the power step. So Matt's on 6 glory. Technically, I shouldn't have interfered, but that's just a basic thing. I think everyone, like, it's just a quality of life thing, and it's just Matt can use that. Well, they can both use it to learn because Chris is still quite new as well. They should have asked a judge, but it's just a minor thing because remember, you've got an action phase which has 8 activations and 8 power steps, and a power step is not a phase. You've got the action phase, then the end phase. He's put Guardian Glaive on a fighter. So Dibs is charging onto objective 4 against Hrothgorn. 2 smash with supports and re-rolling everything. 2 hits. So Hrothgorn needs 2 block or a crit. So we'll see what he rolls. Crit. Swift capture. There we go. Chris scores swift capture. So he's on 23. 23-6. Yeah, it has no effect on the game. I think at that point it was more just, it's fine. If it was like in the beginning, I would have not said anything. I still shouldn't have said anything, but had no effect on the game. But it's fair to point out that I shouldn't have. Because I am just the impartial commentator. Right. So going into Matt's 3rd activation for round 3, and I have updated that. I probably should put a symbol for rounds activations. I can do that. Add an image. I think I figured out how to do that, yeah. So if I was Hrothgorn, I'll just charge Dibs. So Free Fury. Rolls nothing. Ugh. Unfortunate. Because remember, with the trap launcher, you can pull someone towards you if you, instead of driving them back. No, after driving them back, sorry. Let me just check his fighter card. Zarbag is charging into Hrothgorn. He could actually kill Hrothgorn. He's 2 damage. Free Fury with supports and cleave. Impressive if he does. So can Matt roll a crit.com? Can you roll a crit.com? Let's see if he rolls it. No. Hrothgorn is dead. Hrothgorn should be dead. He must have a wound on him. But he scores Scrum. Oops, sorry, let me just do that. But yeah, Chris's restricted card does Scrum, Temporary Victory, and Cryptic Companion. Impressive. Like, yeah, I mean, that is just ultimate styling. I mean, like, wow. Damn. That is cruel. Hrothgorn is going to charge. Probably going to go for the Git with Cryptic Companion. Oh, it's charging into Zarbag. Hunting Knife. Yeah, after the attack action succeeded, you can push the target. 3 hammers, so can you roll a crit? Double crit! Oh, you rolled a crit. Can you roll a crit? Yes, he can. He can. He can. Oh, yes, his rolls have been... Chris's rolls have been like, damn. Oh. So he just scores Cryptic Companion. So the game goes 25-6 to Chris. Damn. Oh. Damn. So yeah, the key thing to remember in that game was, well, obviously the Gitz got really good with their rolls. I mean, in card draw. But even going against that, Chris did an amazing job of setting up Supremacy and Mad Scurry. And he made so many threats for Matt that there was no real right one to go for. And that it just confused that targeting priority. But yeah, now they're just discussing. But yeah, Matt just complimenting Chris because Chris did some very technical plays. Obviously, Gitz take a lot of time to play. And so Chris is just explaining to Matt about the flipping thing. So basically, he said, like, if Matt went for the flip to flip a feature token with Bushwhacker, he would have got obliterated back. So no matter what, he was set up punishing that. So it's really good play from Chris. He had like so many backup plans. It's really good. And he's only been playing them for about a week as well. He scored 25-6 to the Gitz. So Gitz have proven they are mightier than the Ogres. There you have it. That was round 2 from the Warhammer Underworlds June 2020 webcam tournament hosted over Zoom. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back shortly with some more videos and the last 2 rounds of the webcam tournament. So I hope you enjoyed the battle report and I'll see you again soon. Keep rolling crits.